my channel. My name is Rachel. You can find me as Talking Dog Stitcher here on YouTube and over on Instagram as well. And this YouTube channel is all about cross stitch. Today is the Friday the 16th of February. Halfway through February already, and I've got quite a few things to share with you. My last video was the end of January, so we've got a couple of weeks of things to show you. I, over the past weekend, went away with a few Stitchy Friends to North Wales, where there are a couple of local needle workshops. So I have quite a bit of haul to show you at the end, some of my acquisitions. So I'll do sort of life updates and haul all at the end of the video. I also have a big giveaway to do with you because I think it was just before my last video I hit 1,500 subscribers here on YouTube and 1,000 subscribers over on Instagram. So I'm doing a big giveaway on both platforms. So stick around to the end to see that. I have 3 new starts to show you. I have a finish and a fully finish and 3 works in progress, whips to share with you. So I'm pretty much just going to jump right in. I'm going to start with my finishes. I started this on the 5th of December for my 12 starts of Christmas, and I finished it a couple of days ago on the 13th of February. This is Youo Dasher by Helen Daly, also known as East Coast Crafter. She's here on Flosstube. It's charted in light with dark fabric, and I've obviously reversed it. This is 28 count even weave by Fabric Flair in the colour Iced Coffee, and I stitched it 2 over 2 with the Gentle Art Onyx, and then there's the red Krynic at the bottom, which it really does have a lovely sparkle, which you just can't quite see. Terrible to work with, but it was only a few stitches, so yeah. Finish number 3 for 2024. We're aiming for 35. We might not make it, but we are definitely making progress. And then I fully finished something. I went to Primark. They had a couple of frames there for £1.50, picked one up, hoped it was going to be the right size, and I've managed to make it fit. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite fit with the mount that it came with, but I think it looks fab just the same. So this is Jurassic Perk. I started this for Mania last year, and I finished it for Valentine's Day for my husband. This is Jurassic Perk by Silver Creek Samplers, and as you can see by the glare, I've kept the glass in. This is to go next to my husband's coffee machine, and as you can imagine, we don't want any sort of overspray or spillages or anything, so we've kept it protected there. It's not perfect, but I am pretty happy with my effort on that one. And that was stitched all as called for fabric, called for flosses. I just used CXC instead of the DMC. And it just sits up there like that. Finishes. I know. Whose channel are we watching? Just so that you know that it is still me that you're watching. I've not changed. I have had 3 new starts in February so far, in the first 2 weeks of February. And I haven't gone small either, so it's fine. I don't mind my whip count slightly climbing, slowly. I am going to keep trying for those finishes though. But the first thing that I started on the 1st of February for full coverage February is this. This is Animal Panorama by Adrian Chesterman, charted by Pain Free Crafts. I first saw this on Danielle, Cardiff Stitches Flosstube. Highly recommend going over and checking Danielle out. She's shown this on her most recent whip parade, so you'll be able to see where she's got. She's started in the same place, but I believe she's sort of down by the tiger now, so big chunk of progress that she's made. I have, like I say, only just started a couple of weeks ago, and I'm starting with the Royal Rose method. So just the top corner there. As you can see from down here, I did get a little bit oh, I just want to finish the threads. So there are a couple of threads that I've kind of finished off going down there. I'm actually really enjoying Royal Rose though, so I think I'm going to stick with it. I'm trying to be really careful to feather my stitches across boxes. If there's sort of two stitches that are next to each other but in separate towers, as the Royal Rose method calls them, then I'll stitch them both, and then hopefully we don't end up with any lines or anything like that in the columns. That's my hope. We'll see how it goes. But I'm about 900 stitches in, which is sort of 0.5%. So we've still got plenty to go, but I'm really happy with that as a really solid start. Needle minders from Sammy, Little Loop Stitching, from the retreat that we went to. This one's from Jess Gets Stitching. It's one of the, she's running a £1 needle minder sale in her shop. This is one of those. It's a fabulous little clay peach needle minder. And this was a lovely gift from one of my viewers that won one of my giveaways. So thank you very much for that. It is a very much in use 3D printed needle minder. Fabulous. I love it so much. Pretty happy with how that's going. It lives in the Q snap. It's not going to come out as Q snap. I'm going to keep doing as much as I can on this for full coverage February. Start number 1. I think that's probably start number 6 or so for the year, I think. Maybe 5. Oh well. Next start, it's obviously February, the month of love, the month of Valentine's Day, so I had to start Big Hearted Tiny Town by Heart in Hand. I've decided to do mostly the DMC conversion because they do provide that, except for any one of these colours that shows quite a lot of variegation. So this house here, and there was another one as well. Each of those I've used the called for, just so that I get a bit of variegation and interest inside the pattern without having to buy the whole lot. So I think it looks pretty good so far. You can see that one house has got the variegation, but the tree doesn't, and I think it looks okay considering. Trying to get the fabric colour on. There we go. So this is 32 count linen by Fibre on a Whim in the colour Brown Sugar, and as you can see it's got a little bit of a pinky tinge to the brown, which I think really lends itself to the tiny town. All of my tiny towns live in my Canny Little Fox multi-case. So as you can see, there's all my Valentine's Day ones, that's my Halloween one, and my Christmas one. Just need to find one to go in here. I'm thinking one of the new Any Towns or the Frosty Town. They've just been announced and they look gorgeous. So I think they might be on my shopping list. Final start of the month so far. As I mentioned at the beginning, I went on a retreat this weekend, it was called a private retreat, I suppose, with some Stitchy Friends. And we went to 2 local needle workshops. And what I decided I wanted to do was to kit up a project at each one. So find a pattern, kit it up with fabric and floss, and then I have my Nimble Thimble project, and I have my Create Nostalgia project, and you know, it reminds me of my time there. So my final start was on the weekend while we were away. It was on the 10th of February, and it's my first ever Blackbird Designs that I've started. So this is the one that I've started. It's Moonlight Visitor by Blackbird. It's beautiful and very small and dainty, which is just brilliant. And here's where I got to. This progress for me is shocking. Absolutely shocking. I can't believe it. I've got all the way around the outside, the borders met, and we're starting in on the moth there. Being stitched on, as I picked it up at Create Nostalgia, 40 count Permin linen in ivory with all of the called for, which is a change for me, all of the called for Gentle Arts and Classic Colourworks. All kitted up at Create Nostalgia at the weekend. It's being kept in a project bag that I bought from Sophie at the weekend because she brought some project bags with us with her turtle based stitches. You know her as Wizard in Training. Very cute. Okay, that's my finishes and my starts. Just 3 whips to show you now. So I mentioned in my last video that I've joined a stitching group on Facebook which sets out some challenges. So these are all projects that I've been using for those challenges really. There are only 3 of them because it's been half term, my son's off school at the moment, there's been the retreat that I was away at, so I'm not going to pretend that I didn't take almost every project that I own away with me because I was too scared that I would get there and want to stitch on something that I didn't have with me. So I took a lot, but I ended up not stitching on a great variety while I was there, which was really nice actually, because as you saw by my Moonlight visitor, I managed to get quite a lot of progress on like my new starts and things. So only a sort of a handful of different projects to show you this time, which makes a nice change. I've stitched on this, which is Tequila by Stitch Rovia. Take life with a pinch of salt, a wedge of lime and a shot of tequila. Available on the Stitch Rovia Etsy. This is being stitched on a piece of 40 count Newcastle linen, just white or antique white I think it might be. And I started it right at the beginning of my post Flosstube discovery stitching career. It's not a career, but you know what I mean. When I first picked up the hobby properly. But I didn't realise that on 40 count it's generally done 1/2 rather than 2/2. So I'm stitching it 2/2, and it wasn't until I got to the shot glass, you can see there's a bit of a checkerboard effect in there. It's quite tight. We are too far to turn back now, and I do quite like how chunky it's looking, but there are quite a lot of checkerboard bits in there, so it's not the most fun to stitch. It's just a case of picking it up whenever I feel like it and just adding a little bit more in. Just getting it done. The other one, that's all being stitched in DMC, that one actually. Another one that I've been working on, I'll have to pop a picture in here of the final. It's the Greenhouse of Oddities Stitch Along by Lola Cross Stitch. I started this as a stitch along right at the beginning and didn't keep up, but I am determined that I'm going to get this finished this year. So everything that I've done is in this section over here. And we're getting there. We're getting there. That section is coming along great. There we are on fabric colour. It's a piece of Coffee Craft fabric, 32 count even weave in sort of this yellows and blues. And we'll keep chugging along, like I say. I'm going to get that finished this year. That is the plan. And the final one, I've got out my non-working copy to show you the picture. I'm going to have to take it out of the bag. I noticed someone had posted on Facebook that they'd got this pattern and they were quite concerned because it was just printed on A4 paper and put in a bag. So I just wanted to show you this, how it comes in a little sort of zip top bag. Zip top? It's not a Ziploc because that's a brand, isn't it? What would you call that? I don't know. It does come on A4 paper in a Ziploc bag, so it's not just necessarily been printed off by someone. But that is the colours of it. So Twisted Band Sampler, the Specialty Stitches version, and I've gone rogue and I'm doing it on a dark fabric. This is 32 count Anthracite by Swigart, and here is where I am. So from last time, there's not a huge amount of progress. I think it's just finishing this row of, is it adapted Smyrna crosses So I've still got a row of herringbone stitches to go before we're back into some cross stitch for the next band. But progress is progress, and we'll get there. I can't believe how big this is going to be once it's finished, because we're not halfway across it yet. So it's probably going to be maybe around here width. We're guessing, eyeballing it. Did I say 3 widths? I have 4. I can count, I promise. Oh dear. My last one, I'll show you, I'll pop a picture up here, is my ink circles round robin. So myself, Tan, who is the monogamous cross stitcher, Rosie X Stitches, and Jess, who is cross stitch Jess. Oh god, I'm sorry Jess. I'll pop them all on the screen, I'll pop them all down below so you can see who they are. Go and follow them on Instagram. We're all doing the sort of UK version of the ink circles round robin, and I've picked, as you saw, Reflections of New Orleans, and here is where I'm at with my part. See if I can get, there we go, that is closer. It is a brighter golder yellow fabric, and I'm stitching it with, wow, it really washes it out when you get close, doesn't it? With some Stitchy Ferret floss that she dyed for me. That's a piece of CXC black in this gorgeous green and purple, and then CXC 310. I'm going to get all of the ladies to pick a motif to do in the black. I've obviously picked the mask in the middle, and as soon as I've finished that mask, that is my quarter done, and it will be sent off to Rosie. So I am trying to get this one done, because Rosie's already finished her first section and has sent it on. So we're not behind, Rosie is just ahead, but it would be nice to be able to send that over to her and get her something to stitch on. Because Rosie, of course, you don't have enough things to stitch on, just like me. And that's it. We are done with whips. So next up is sort of a life update and haul video, or haul section of the video I should say. So as I mentioned, we went to a lovely little private retreat in North Wales. It was organised by Tan and Rosie, and I was very, very fortunate to be invited to it. Thank you so much for all of your efforts, ladies. It was hugely appreciated. We had such a lovely time. I absolutely, if I can be invited back, then I'd be very, very honoured. We stayed in an Airbnb in Prestatyn, North Wales, and we did a couple of day trips. So we all met at Nimble Thimble on the Friday, went back to the Airbnb, did some stitching, had some food, went to Create Nostalgia on Saturday, came back to the house, did some stitching, had some food, and then on Sunday morning a bit of stitching before we all went our separate ways. And it was absolutely lovely. It's the first time I've ever visited an L&S, which is a local needlework shop. I wasn't expecting it to be such a tongue twister, this video. It was my first time ever visiting one, so yeah, it was just such a lovely weekend. I highly recommend, if you do get the opportunity to go, that you take it. Nimble Thimble had a lovely room upstairs that we were all welcome to sit and have teas and coffees and sit and stitch and bring packed lunches and things. Create Nostalgia set up some sort of scones and tea and coffee for us after we'd finished shopping. The main thing that I enjoyed from being there was having the model stitches up on the walls and things, because, and one of the conversations that we had over the course of the weekend and in the time since, is that the pictures on patterns sometimes just do not do justice to the beauty of these cross stitches. Particularly in Create Nostalgia, we saw, is it Sleeping Bee by Blue Flower, which I've always been a bit, okay, it's nice. we saw it stitched and framed and up on the wall, and it was just stunning. I think half of the ladies now have that on their list of things that they must stitch, if not now then soon, because it was just beautiful. And the drawn thread that were up on the wall in Nimble Thimble, just beautiful. So highly recommend, even if it's just to go and have a nosy at the displays that they've got on the wall. It's just fabulous. You can't really go to a needle workshop and not shop though, especially not if you're me. And I know I said at the beginning of the year that I was on a no spend year. This was one of my exceptions. So I had a little budget that I set myself, and that was to be spent across the year, but probably going to be all spent in this bit. And I did. I spent about 90% of my budget for the entire year just in those two shops. So I'm gonna show you what I've got. There's a selection. There is quite a lot. It is what I intend to be my purchases for the year, apart from at the April retreat that I'm going to, the spring retreat from Floss Friends. We were talking about at the weekend the stash accumulation and things like that, and we all came to the conclusion that we're still young ladies at the end of the day. We've got plenty of time left, we've got plenty of work left to do in our lives, and all we're doing at this point when we're accumulating stashes is saving for our retirement. So you know, we've all been very sensible. We have stocked up ourselves, ready for making sure we've got plenty to do in retirement. It's a story and we're sticking with it. So please excuse any rustling or crinkling or anything like that. It's all still in bags. Just wake up my PC so that I can see whether I'm actually showing you anything or not. It's all been mixed in together, all of my purchases. So if I remember, I will tell you which shop I got each thing at, but for the most part they were available in both. First up, Your Own Kind of Beautiful, which is by Tiny Modernist. Just love these chickens. They are fabulous. It's quite a big one, 117 by 145. I've bought a couple more Blackbird Designs. So you've seen the one that I've already started. I will make sure to point out which one I bought in Nimble Thimble and had kitted up. I've gone from owning 0 Blackbird Designs to being the owner of 3. Octopus's Garden by Blackbird Designs. Under the sea in an octopus garden in the shade. I love that. I think that's fabulous. My husband actually really enjoyed that one as well, which is unusual for him to take. Not even an interest, just a approval in any of the cross-stitch patterns. At the Nimble Thimble, this is the one that I got kitted up. It actually comes as a kit with the Dinky Dyes floss, and that is the drawn thread Glad Tidings. Good tidings, it's written right there. Good Tidings, which I think is lovely. I am debating whether I do that over one on the supplied fabric to make it a little bit more ornament sized perhaps, but that remains to be seen. I've also picked up Jeanette Douglas Vintage Acorns. I love the colours on this one. That's what drew it to me, really. And it is part of a series almost, Vintage Birds, Vintage Flowers, etc. Soph, who I'll link below, was there with us on the weekend, and she's picked up, I believe it was Vintage Animals that she got. I will link down below anyone that went this weekend that also does a Flosstube, because there were a few of us, so you can make sure to check out their videos for all of their haul, because there is plenty to see, and I know it's one of my favourite things to watch on a Flosstube, because sometimes you just don't get to see these things until you've seen them in person, especially I really struggle with some of the LNS websites, to be honest with you, because you have to know which designer you're looking for to click on it, to scroll through, if you know what I mean. So I make all my choices through Flosstube these days. I picked up B Tier by Erin Elizabeth. The plan is to stitch this and then swap it with my friend Sophie, who bought the farm tier. So we'll stitch and swap those. That one is really, really cute. Heart in Hand, seasonal etchings. Possibly going to be stitched individually and made into little cushions. Very cute, that one. Now, there is a story behind this that doesn't paint me in a very good light. I had to have this pattern. So when we were in Nimble Thimble, they had a copy of Strawberry Fields Forever, and when I was having a look through the Blackbird Designs, I found the Octopus's Garden, grabbed it, and then I kind of stopped looking, almost. And it wasn't until I came back down later, as you do, you go upstairs, you have a little stitch, you come back down to see if there's anything you missed. And Sherry, just so Sherry, had Strawberry Fields Forever in her pile. And I kind of said at that point, oh my god, yes, that's another one that was on my list of things that I want to get. And kind of sneakily, I'm not very sneaky, I'm not a very good liar, it's all in all a terrible, terrible thief. So when I tried to slyly slide this out of her pile, I was caught. And from that moment on, for the rest of the weekend, if anything went missing, it was all my fault. So I probably deserved that one. But when we went to Create Nostalgia on the Saturday, they also had a copy of Strawberry Fields Forever, so I was able to pick one up. Me and Sherry have both got one, so now everyone is happy. And I have redeemed myself, I hope, in Sherry's eyes. Hopefully, Sherry, I hope you've forgiven me. We are both happy with our copies of Strawberry Fields Forever. I have also picked up this. I've never seen this designer before. Scissortail Designs. There we go. It's called Pumpkin Topiary. I'm going to turn off that light for a second. There we go. We might be able to go without the light for the rest of the video, actually. I love that. I'm so excited. And it only uses 60 MC colours. So that is stitched on 32, that's the model stitched on 32 count platinum linen. So I did pick some of that up at Nimble Thimble, 32 count platinum. So that is going to be stitched. Probably started quite soon. I'm not really a seasonal stitcher, I'm just a bit of a stitch what you want when you want kind of gal. Along with the platinum, I also picked up a piece of the grey with white, I thought it said milk spot then, grey white spot 32 count Lagana as well, which I've seen so many people stitch things on and it always looks so good, so I've picked myself up some. They're both fat quarters, so I've got plenty of it as well. Plum Street Samplers, Hedgerow. I love all of these little stacks, so it was just a case of picking one to start with. Pick one and then get it stitched and move on to the next. So I have some 40 count Coffee Craft coming that I hope is going to suit that colourway, so I can start that one. I love these. If anybody sees the rest of the series, please can you tag me in it, point me in the right direction. Hands On Designs French Kitchen series. This is Pomme et Sauge. Probably butchered that, but apple and sage. And oh, it's just beautiful. I love the whole series. I've never been able to get my hands on them. Got that one. We're coming to the end now. It's not long. Just these two left. Primrose Cottage Stitches. I would rather be stitching. Another one where I've stitched the Be Nice or Buzz Off. So added this one to my collection. There's that one. And then finally, I got a Buttons and Beads Mill Hill kit called Summer Cottage. Comes with a really cute little birdhouse charm. Love that. The only other thing that I bought was a few things for giveaways, which obviously I will keep hush hush until said time. Now I've got a couple of things to give away that I will show you now. One of them is to be given away here on YouTube, so you'll need to put a comment below to get. The other one is going to be given away on Instagram, so you'll need to head over to my Instagram, find the post and comment and do all of the things. So I'll show you them both though, so you know what you're getting into. My lovely friend Sophie gifted me this to give away to you. It is a Cotton and Twine by Historical Sampler Company monthly box. It is complete, so you get everything inside, and it is the January 2024 box. Welcome to our home. So you get everything you need in this box to, excuse the rustling, sorry, to finish this pattern. So you've got the oval hoop, you've got the right cut of Ada, you've got all of the threads, you also get a very cute little kit to make your own macrame owl. Oops, again, sorry. A Knorr oat milk bar. Now I'm just going to check to see if there are any allergens in it. Obviously it's got oats, traces of gluten, milk, tree nuts, peanuts and soya. It is up to you if you choose to enter. This will be coming in the box to you, so if you are sensitive to any of the ingredients, just be warned. And also Fair Trade Everyday Tea by Clipper. So that's everything that comes inside the Historical Sampler Company January box, is to be given away to one of you lucky viewers. So all of the usual rules apply. Please be a subscriber. I would greatly appreciate it if you're already a subscriber before you enter. If you would like to win it, please use the word turtle, Turtle, in your comment, because it was gifted to me for this purpose by Turtle Bay Stitches, which is Sophie. Please do not use the words freebie, giveaway, anything like that in your comments, so that we don't end up with any of the trolls. You must be 18 or over so that you can give me your address, and I will only send this within the UK. I'm very sorry about that. I have got, hopefully, a giveaway coming again soon, which will be open worldwide. So the last time I looked, I have 1900 subscribers. We have gone from 1500 to 1900 in the space of a second. So there may be a 2000 subscriber giveaway coming. So that will be open internationally. But for this one, it's UK only, please. And that's it in terms of that one. In terms of the Instagram giveaway, I will show you what it is. You'll need to head over to Instagram to figure out all of the rules to apply over there. It is a lovely Turtle Bay Stitches bag. Everything in this giveaway I have purchased. A Turtle Bay Stitches bag, a dog, because I'm talking dog stitcher. So we got these cute little doggies and this gorgeous black and gold internal fabric. And inside there is a needle minder from Just Get Stitching and Quilt on a Pumpkin from Rosewood Manor. Pattern, project bag and needle minder all over on Instagram for you to enter. And I think that's all I have to say for this episode. I've had a couple of people comment and send DMs along the lines of, you know, how lucky I am to have the Stitchy Friends and how much they would love to have been able to do something like that. And honestly, I am so lucky to have met the people that I've met and to been able to go on such a lovely weekend with Stitchy Friends. I will be honest with you, half of the people that went at the weekend I had never met before. We were all kind of brought together, and I met Tan and Rosie. Rosie I'd never met before. I'd spoken to her on Instagram, things like that. And Tan I'd only ever met once at the Floss Friends retreat in Rotherham back in July. So my advice to you, if that's something that you want to do, if you want to find your Stitchy Friends and hopefully come together in that kind of way, is not even necessarily retreats, because I know they can be quite expensive, and I myself am only going to one retreat this year apart from the Airbnb. It's get on the Facebook groups and getting onto Instagram and posting and commenting. And Floss Friends UK is a great Facebook group. They do a monthly online stitch and chat, which is obviously free to attend. They do some physical meetups in Doncaster occasionally. Unfortunately, I think the venue that they were using has flooded recently, so they're on the lookout for somewhere else to go. But see if you can find a local sort of Facebook group to use. So I know there's the Lancashire Stitchers. They're looking at doing potentially a meetup in Preston, which would be great because that's only sort of 20 minutes away. So if you can come to Preston, maybe we'll see you on one of those. I say we as if I've got anything to do with organising it. I don't. I'll just be there as soon as someone does one. I'll be there. Yorkshire Stitchers, Quarry Bank Stitchers. If you're in the Midlands, I know Tan, the monogamous cross stitcher, is doing some meetups in sort of Birmingham, maybe even Bristol area. Just get out there, see what you can find, see and join in those stitchy days, because they are brilliant. And you know, if there's one near to you that's just during the day kind of retreat, they're not pricey at all. I know when it comes to having to buy a hotel and all that kind of stuff, it can get really expensive to go to retreats, so it's not necessarily an option for everyone. But like I say, get on the Facebook groups, get on Instagram, have a chat with people, and hopefully you can find your own stitchy crew as well, which would be great. Like I say, everyone that I've mentioned will be in the comments below, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you for watching. Bye.